How's everyone doing tonight? And welcome to a very special Monday night edition of the Plate Exchange. I'm Steve with On the Ring Apron, Alyssa running our camera behind. You can say hello to everybody.
Hello to everybody.
Oh, she's so literal. I love it. And I tried to convince her and Kia to try to come out in these nice little outfits, post Halloween stuff. Neither would go for it, so not a surprise. But either way, we're going to have some fun here this evening as we are here to crown our newest champions. It took a little while for their plates to get in, but we finally have them in our possession as we crown 3 different sets of champions. First of all, we have new NXT Tag Team Champions in Imperium, actually winning the championship for the second time since they joined the Black and Gold brand. And then, as they successfully predicted at Halloween Havoc, Toxic Attraction taking all of the women's championship gold. Gigi Dolan and JC Jane successfully winning the women's tag team championships in NXT. And then, of course, Mandy Rose coming back, fulfilling her promise, and with perhaps an unexpected assist from the returning Dakota Kai, she wins the NXT Women's Championship, marking her first championship gold in her possession in her 7-year career. So we now have an opportunity to go ahead and get our new plates on here to get us ready for Survivor Series. So with that, we're going to go ahead and move these 2 away, as these will be the 2 we'll be going over towards the end. And we're going to begin with, as soon as my little clicker works here, there we go, the NXT Tag Team Championships, which are now held by Imperium, ending the nearly 200-day reign of MSK, who, of course, came in and stormed the world and shocked the NXT universe by not only winning the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, but then also winning the NXT Tag Team Championships and holding a pretty good grip on them throughout the entire summer, but finally falling at Halloween Havoc in a well-contested match against Imperium. No slick tricks, no Walter getting involved, just Imperium doing what they do, and that is winning the championship for the second time. So we have our Imperium plates. We've seen them here before. You've seen them put them on our belts before. So they now have an opportunity to return. I also want to put a little side note here, and this is a terrible picture, but I will post it up on our Instagram here in a little bit. You can see some folks in some red shirts over here in the corner. I know you can't see it well on this one, but there's one over there that 1 or 2 people over there that should look a little familiar. If you've watched our show, me and Kia, we were actually at Halloween Havoc along with several other members of the Mania Club, one of our subsidiary sponsors of this show. They're up here. So, get a chance to take a peek for us. If you go back and watch right after Ciampa retained over Braun Breaker, they got a very good shot of the Mania Club, including myself and Kia on there. So, we're WWE Network famous now, I guess. So, what it is what it is. But, of course, all of this shaping up for, several NXT pay-per-views and events that are coming up. Halloween Havoc, of course, one of the network seasonal specials they have. They have Great American Bash, they have Halloween Havoc, etc. But all of this is leading towards December 5th, which will be the return of NXT War Games, which, of course, is the 4-on-4 team inside of a double steel cage. Kia and I got a chance to attend one just before COVID hit in Brooklyn a few years ago, and it was phenomenal, to say the least. That was the one where Ciampa ended up ending the match with Adam Cole by jumping off the top of the cage through a couple of tables in what was an absolutely just sick finish. And having been to a number of events over my lifetime, I will argue that may have been arguably the loudest. That may have been the loudest event I think we've ever attended. So, and that's saying something. We've been to WrestleManias for, almost a decade now. So, but we're definitely looking forward to that. But, of course, the first one coming up is Survivor Series coming up this weekend. And as we've made mention on here, and we're going to go ahead and say it again, we actually will be at Survivor Series. We first are going to get an opportunity, we found out today, to attend a pre-party the night before in New York to get a chance to speak to a number of panelists, speak to a number of folks that also have their own shows on here, so a chance to get on the ring apron, a little bit of publicity, and a little bit of get our name out there a little bit. We're still relatively budding, but appreciative of the opportunity. So for those of you who don't follow, at TW, actually TW Wrestling Girls, I believe is the name. And if I mess that up, I'm sorry. I'll make sure I put the correct one at the bottom. But they are the ones that gave us the official invite, so we will make sure that we go and have a good time. First, we'll start with the Imperium plates, as we mentioned, and they are on there at this time. Yay? Mm-hmm. Excellent. And get a good shot of those here in just a little bit. And that moves us on to our second set of belts. This will actually be, even though they're all part of the same team, of course, Toxic Attraction fulfilling their destined word that says that they would win all of the women's gold at Halloween Havoc, and they did. It began with Toxic Attraction successfully winning the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships in a Stairway to Hell ladder match, dethroning the previous champions of Zoey Stark and Io Shirai. Priscilla. No, goodness gracious, Pirotta something, and I cannot for the life of me ever pronounce her last name. And Indi Hartwell were the other team, but they end up being the victors in the end. It's actually Gigi Dolan's first opportunity to hold a championship at the WWE level. Of course, she's been championed as Priscilla Kelly and a number of other brands, including in the UK. But for Jacy Jayne, this was actually her first championship of any kind in her wrestling career. And it was kind of a cool moment because her, I think it's her boyfriend or her fiance, I'm not sure which, was actually sitting about 4 rows behind us. And you could just see her just stare off with almost tears in her eyes, mouthing, "I did it, we did it." So you can tell she had come a long way. For those of you who have watched NXT over the last couple of weeks, all members of Toxic Attraction are using Toxic Attraction plates. That includes Mandy Rose herself, whom we'll see in a little bit. But there is the Toxic Attraction plates, getting a good look at those. Mm-hmm. And the only main difference is the fact that the Tag Team Championships come on the silver plates versus the NXT Women's title being on a gold plate. So we'll go ahead and get that one on here. Still a relatively new belt, so the buttons are still relatively fresh. I think we ran into this problem the last time we had this out here.
Yes, we did.
But getting back to Survivor Series, of course we're going to get to be a part of that pre-party, and we'll make sure that, all that stuff, at least as much as we're allowed to, is put on our Instagram. So definitely make sure you're following and paying attention to us throughout that particular Saturday. And then on Sunday, after we get the rare joy of Atlanta United's scheduling working out just to perfection, that they'll be in Yankee Stadium. So we're actually going to go attend that United match, so expect to see a little bit of soccer content on here during the afternoon. But then immediately following that match, we head to Barclays, where we will be attending Survivor Series for the third time in the last 4 years. The only year, of course, we didn't go, the year that it was inside of the Performance Center due to COVID. And this actually will be young Miss Alyssa's very first WWE event, so anybody that's watching, go ahead, throw some words in the comments there about what she is to expect.
Dear God.
Yeah, she has. She's asked me to warn her about fireworks and about the pyro. It can get, it can get a little loud in there. But of course, if you've watched, and you'll kind of have an idea on when it's coming. It's only like the surprise ones. Kane used to scare the shit out of people. I'll edit that out, hopefully. Kane used to scare folks because you never knew when that fire and that pyro was going to go off. But if you're watching somebody like Roman Reigns coming out, you know when those fireworks are going to go off. Edge, same story, a number of others throughout as well. So, and then of course, we'll have an opportunity to be inside the building. So for those of you who follow our YouTube channel for the entrances, of course, we'll have them up hopefully the next night or the night after. But more on that in a moment. Let's go ahead and show off the Toxic Attraction plates here first for Gigi Dolan and Jacy Jayne, the new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. And that will move us to our third and final belt of this episode, which is, of course, the new NXT Women's Champion in form of the leader of Toxic Attraction, Mandy Rose, the newly brunetted Mandy Rose. She came back to NXT, and I think a lot of folks were not 100% sure what they were going to do with her. She had opportunities to go as a singles competitor, as a tag team competitor with Dana Brooke for quite some time. She spent a little bit of time with Sonya Deville. And of course, had the major WrestleMania storyline with Otis, involving Otis winning Money in the Bank, and, of course, his Peach's heart. But, of course, that storyline ended up playing out the way that it did. But now Mandy returns to NXT. She returns with a new look, a new set of partners, and ultimately now gold as she defeated Raquel Gonzalez in a match to win the NXT Women's Championship with, as we said earlier, a very heavy assist from Dakota Kai in the form of a shovel. So I don't know if we should make a John Cena joke there about her being buried or whatever you want to go with here. But either way, Mandy's champ, and we'll see how long it goes. As we said earlier, the Toxic Attraction plates also don her championship as well, so nothing any different about these other than they're just on the gold plates instead of on the silver. We were curious to see if Mandy would ultimately get one or both plates that would be unique to her, but it ultimately ended up not turning out that way. So, returning back to Survivor Series, though, of course, the one thing that I haven't mentioned up to this point is, of course, anybody who follows our channels knows we do a Top Rope Spoilers, and that's still going to happen. But when, you say? Well, that's actually going to be where the uniqueness is going to be, is for the first time ever, our Top Rope Spoiler show is going to go on the road. We actually got the official word and the official moment that we're going to have the opportunity to be able to do our Top Rope Spoiler show live from Brooklyn itself. We still working out the final arrangements. We're not sure if we're going to be able to reserve out a location there. We're going to be able to do so. There's been talks that if the temperature and whatnot is not too terrible, we might do it right in front of Barclays itself. But either way, we're going to put together something special for you guys, because it's rare that we get the opportunity to be able to do our specials anywhere other than, inside of our little studio here at home. But definitely want the opportunity to do something special since we'll be in Brooklyn. So be on the lookout for a Top Rope Spoilers. We do know for a fact that it will be on Saturday. Just don't know the exact time yet. More to come as we figure that out, but it will be on Saturday. And as our followers voted all weekend, we gave you guys an opportunity to decide who was going to represent Raw, who was going to represent SmackDown, and with almost a 91% voting ratio, it will be Kia representing the red brand of Monday Night Raw, just like she did last year. I will be representing the blue brand of SmackDown, so good, I get the ones. But yeah. Either way, so you guys, I don't blame you. Raw has won 5 out of the last 6 Survivor Series. The only year they didn't was the year that that NXT got to be involved, and NXT won that year. So SmackDown riding a little bit of a losing streak heading into Survivor Series. So hopefully this will be the year they break it. At least if I won't be the one representing them. So we'll see. But anyway, as we said, Mandy Rose, our new NXT Women's Champion, the Toxic Attraction plates also donning the championship belt for the NXT Women's Championship as well. And with that, that brings an end to what we hated that had to wait so long. We had to wait on these plates to show up. The Imperium plates we obviously had for a while, but I think there may have been still some debate as to whether Mandy was going to end up getting her own plates or whether they were going to stick with Toxic Attraction. Ultimately, they stuck with the Toxic Attraction plates for her. So we'll see how long Gigi and JC Jane and Mandy Rose will be holding on to their respective championships. But with that, everybody, get yourself ready. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you're watching this on YouTube, again, feel free to throw your comments at the bottom. Tell Alyssa what she has to look forward to this upcoming Sunday at Survivor Series. And be on the lookout on Saturday for, well, really this entire weekend for a whole bunch of content. If you're not a soccer person, sorry, early Sunday, you're going to have to get over it. But as for the rest of it, look forward to a lot of Survivor Series content. It's easily my favorite pay-per-view of the year when Raw and SmackDown go head-to-head, so we'll see exactly what comes of it. But I'm Steve. You guys have yourself a great rest of your evening, and enjoy Raw. Have a good one.